Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. It's time for another Facebook Live card tutorial with independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator Teresa Harper. I'm located in Oregon in the United States, and I'm so happy that you have joined me tonight. Let's go ahead and see if we can get this video up so I can see your comments and we can see who's jumping on. Let's see. There we are. Let's make sure we've got that on silent so that we don't get a double standard here. That looks just a tiny bit crooked. I need to go, looks like this way, just a titch. Let's see if that helps us out. And, all right. Oh, looks like I went the wrong direction. Okay. Hello, Laura. Welcome. I'm going to push this back a bit. And there we go. Looks like we've got it a little bit straighter. All right. So tonight, hello, Jennifer. Hello, Cynthia. Thank you so much. Hello, Tracy. Thanks, everyone, for joining. I appreciate you all. We are going to be using the Meant to Be bundle. Now, you might be wondering where this bundle is located. So I'm going to show you that. There is a scrapbooking brochure that came out on January 7th. It's a PDF. And if you can't find it on the Stampin' Up! Website, I'll be happy to email you a copy. Or you can check out the link that's on my business page here. And so this has a bunch of scrapbooking workshop kits, but Stampin' Up! Included some scrapbooking bundles. So on page 20 of the scrapbooking brochure, you will find the Meant to Be bundle. It coordinates with the Meant to Be workshop kit, which is on page 15. And you can get the Cute as Can Be 12 by 12 designer series paper, which also comes with actually, you can get the designer series paper and then you can get the designer series paper with a sticker sheet. Okay, so apparently when I ordered it wrong. That's okay. All right, so we've got the Meant to Be bundle, and the really cool thing about these dies, let me bring in the die sheet for that, is that these 5 hexagons not only cut a hexagon, but they also cut a frame. So that's super cool. These are all the pieces. This particular bee here is from the Be My Valentine set that is currently available, and coordinates with a punch. Okay, so I just have it there for comparison size. So as you can see, we have a small bee and a large bee in the Meant to Be. And then in the Be My Valentine, this is a medium-sized bee. Okay, so we've got those. I'll just show you that. And then let's see, for this first card, we are also going to be using Hugs for Love, which is another bundle. This is from the mini catalog. It's a stamp and punch bundle. And this is the punch. It's called To the Point Label. It is named differently from the Hugs for Love. There's also a coordinating stamp set called Bright Borders that also coordinates with the To the Point label. We are not using this one tonight. We are, however, using this bundle on the card. Okay, so let's go ahead and set these things aside until we need them. And let's get started. Okay, so I'm just putting a few things away so I don't have so much in my way here as I try to work. I'm going to bring in our pieces for this card, and we're going to start with a card base that is 5.5 by 8.5, and I've scored it in the middle at 4 1/4. So we'll go ahead and, oh, I've got my tools in the wrong spot here. Let's slide those down so I can access them a little bit easier. And then we're going to get our bone folder and give that a good press. This particular card is going to be a landscape card. So I've got a piece of basic white for stamping. I have a piece of Daffodil Delight, and this is 4 by 5 1/4. I've got another piece of basic black, and this one is, I believe, 1 1/2. Right at 1 1/2 by 5 1/4. I've cut it a little bit long so that when I put it on, I don't have to worry about it being too short, and then I'll just trim it. So before we go any further with this, we're going to go ahead and add this to our Daffodil Delight because we need to give it an embossing folder treatment. So I'm just going to take some liquid glue. I'm going to add that to my cardstock. And I'm going to place it roughly in the center. Okay. Make sure those sides are even. I don't want to see any yellow coming out of that from behind that black. Okay, and that looks pretty good. Okay, now we can go ahead and trim off this smidgen with my paper snips. Make sure that's good and stuck. Okay. Now we're going to bring in our large cut and emboss machine, and we're going to emboss these two pieces together at once. And for that, we are using the Starstruck embossing folder. This is a celebration free choice with a $60 order here in the United States. You can choose this for free. You cannot purchase it. So we're just going to put this in, and I'm going to put this logo side, the black and the yellow portion to face the logo. I'm going to line that up on the black line that Stampin' Up! Has provided. And then I'm going to close that folder. And this is a regular embossing folder, not a 3D. So what I need for that is base plate 1, then a clear plate 3, then my embossing folder with the paper, and then another plate 3 on top. And then I'm just going to run that through, and I have the binding part toward going into the machine first. You always want to put your embossing folder's binding side in first because that allows the air to escape from the back when you are pushing it through your machine, and then it won't break on the spine. Okay, so let's go ahead and set this aside. And now we'll pull out our piece, and this is what we have. Okay, so that is really nice looking. I love the little stars in the center of those bursts. Okay, so next we're going to set that aside now. Let's go ahead and get some stamping done, and then we're going to have to do some punching and die cutting. Some of it I've already done, but I do want to show you what you're going to need for this project. So we're going to grab some Petunia Pop and Pool Party ribbon, stamp pads, along with crushed curry. Okay, so let's start with, we're going to need 3 of the to the point shapes. I might have to grab another piece of paper. I might not have enough with the one, but let's grab this one from the Hugs for Love. I'm going to stamp this one in Petunia Pop. I need one of these, and I recommend that when you're doing this, one, you want to keep your hearts in this direction so that they fit into the punch correctly, and 2, don't go real low on the paper. You don't want to go too high because then you can't get it in your punch, but if you go too low, then it won't fit in the punch, or the punch won't hit it correctly. So you want to make sure you have a little bit at the bottom here. Okay, and so now we've got that. And is that all? Yep, that's all of our Petunia Pop. So we can set that aside for now. We're going to clean that stamp. I'm just going to use a chamois cloth. Okay. And then pat that dry with my hand. Then we're going to take Pool Party. Yep, Pool Party on this one. And we need 2 of these. So we're going to these. And I'll get one more down here. Okay, so we've got that. And now we're done with that stamp. Let's go ahead and punch these out. I'm just going to fit these in our punch. Line that up. And then we'll repeat that over here. Okay. This is a quarter sheet of cardstock, if you're wondering. All right, so let's go ahead and see what we can do with the rest of our pieces. Oh, we don't have any because we're cutting out of our designer series paper on this one. So we need to put our sentiment on one of these pool parties. So let's go ahead and do that now. I'm going to bring in Memento Tuxedo Black. And from the Hugs for Love, I'm going to do a Life is Better with You. And that way this can be a generic for anybody. We're going to bring that down here. And then we're going to put this in the lower right corner. And give that a press. Okay, so now we've got our sentiment. And now we just need to do some die cutting. And we're going to grab some fussy cutting. Now, in addition to those 2 bundles, I have brought in the paper pumpkin dies. Spring is in the air for the January to March 2025 paper pumpkin. So in that set, you get 5 dies. This is supposed to cut out a flower. This cuts out a stalk. And this is for the February. These 2 pieces are for February's paper pumpkin. And then you also get in that stamp set this hive and this heart. But we just need the hive for this one. So with a scrap piece of Petunia Pop, we're going to run that through the die cut. And then we need 2 on Pool Party. Okay? So you'll run this particular die through once on Petunia Pop and twice on Pool Party. I've done that to save us some time. So let's bring in our pieces. I've also taken from the Cute As Can Be Designer Series paper. Go ahead and pull that out. This is what the paper looks like. I'm using this sheet and I've fussy cut a few of these little bees, but I want to show you the rest of the paper. Okay. This paper has been recolored. This paper was available last spring, and it's been recolored from Real Red to Petunia Pop. So there we go. Those are your patterns. All right. So like I said, I've already fussy cut a few of those bees to save us some time. Oh, that paper's not going to stand up. Give me 1 second, guys. If I don't put that back in here, I'm going to have paper everywhere. And we do not want that. Okay. There we go. All right. So here is our Pool Party hexagons. And it cuts frames. So you get the frame, and then you get all of these little hexagons when you do this. So I have 1 in the Petunia Pop and 2 in Pool Party. We are not going to be using this one. I'm going to set that aside for another project. I needed the hexagons out of it, and we'll not be using all these little Pool Party hexagons on this project. Okay, so then I've cut 2 little bees from my paper, and we're going to go ahead and start putting this project together. So first of all, we're going to take that piece that we embossed, and we're going to add it to our black card base. Let's see, what is going on with these emoji things? There we go, they went away. Okay, so, oh, I'm so glad you just added that punch bundle to your wish list. I love this paper, it is so pretty. Wait till you see the 3D project we'll be making on Thursday. It uses the pretty patterned paper too. So we're just going to add this to our card base. Let's get these pieces before they run away. I'm going to center this up as best I can. Try to get an even border all the way around. I've used liquid glue because it's a embossing folder and I get a minute to move it. So there we go, that is added. Now, let's go ahead and bring in our Petunia Pop label. And we're going to grab these little hexagons here. And you could cut these with your adhesive sheets so that they're in effect a sticker. But I'm just going to take my liquid glue, my fine tip liquid glue bottle with my Tombow in it. Assuming I can get it to flow. There we go. I don't need a big flow. And I'm just going to add some dots of glue here and there. And that will be enough to hold it. Tombow is a very strong glue. So a little goes a long way. And if you can see it, it's enough. Okay, so we're going to take and add this to our label like so. Okay, so we've got that. I'm going to take our other label and we are going to add this like so. So we're going to go ahead and flip that over, put a little bit of glue on the back. There we go, got it flowing. Just dotting, small little dots. If you're worried about it oozing out, let it dry for a minute before you put it on. Okay, those are just tiny little dots. Now, I'm going to fit this in here like a puzzle, and I'm going to lay part of this on top of the other, just so it looks like it's a seamless, cohesive unit. Okay, so we've got that. Then we're going to take our little hexagons that cut out, and we're going to just put a dot here, here, here. Grab our take your pick tool. I'm going to fit those hexagons back in where they came out of. If I can get them in the right orientation. Just drop that right in there. Like so. Fit right down inside. And then we're going to do, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and go one here and one there. I'm just going to use 5. It cuts out 7 when you cut them out. I'm going to use, not that 7 isn't an odd number, but I want to keep it at 5. And so we're just going to do that. Okay, now this piece is ready for our card. All right. So let's go ahead and set our silicone mat aside. Bring back in our card base. And now I'm going to bring in those 2 pieces that we punched earlier. We're going to put these in here like so. And this one I'm going to pop up with dimensionals. I'm just going to put these right down the center here. And then I'm going to put one here and here. It might be a little overkill, but it's not going to go anywhere this way. So we're going to take some liquid glue on these other two. Actually, yeah, a real light liquid glue because this is basic white. And if you get carried away, you'll see your glue lines. And I don't like that. So we're just going to put this around here. And then we'll add this one. And we'll try to put it at about the same distance from the edge on the bottom as that one is on the top, and about 1/4 of an inch over here. Okay, and then we're going to remove our paper backings here. We'll add this in the center of those two. Need to come over just a titch here. I want that really to be right in the center of that card base. Kind of like that. And then we're going to take our little bee and we're going to flip out his wings on both of these guys. I'm just going to use my thumbnail. Take a little bit of Wink of Stella and put on the wings and a little bit on the heart here because I love my Wink of Stella. And then we're going to take a look at this. We're going to put a dimensional on the back of the bee's bottom there. Check that out. I want one up here. I'm going to use some mini dimensionals for the wings. I'm going to grab a couple of those. Oops, not at the top. I want to go down a little bit because I want those to look like they're in flight. Okay. And then we'll add this about right there. And we're going to check this out. And again, we'll put a dimensional at the back along the stinger there. And then let me go this wing here. Okay, and then we'll remove those backings. I'm going to put just a tiny bit of glue here on the face. And then we'll add this about right here. Okay, now the front of our card is almost finished. Let's take some heart sequins. These are from the November online exclusives. And I'm going to take a small heart and I'm going to put it in the center of one of those starbursts. And then I'm going to take a second small heart and add that. And then I'll take a large heart and put it down here. Give those a good press with my take your pick tool. And there is our completed card front. Okay, and because we kept it generic, you could use it for anybody. So let's go ahead and add our inside. So here again, I've taken and cut one of the bees from the paper, and then I cut this bee from the bottom edge of the paper. So don't throw those edges of your bees away because you can stick these, just cut that out and stick it on your card and make it look like you really meant it to do that. So that's what we've done. I've taken the second image, the second frame from the Hugs for Love, and I've stamped the Happy Valentine's Day from there for the inside of our card. And I'm just going to add this in here, and this card will be finished. Thanks, guys. I'm glad you like that. And then here is the matching envelope. And this is an altered sentiment. I'm going to show you on the next card how to do that. Okay, so there is our coordinating set. I think I'm done with Pool Party and crushed. No, I need the crushed curry. Okay, sweet. So there's that. Let me pick these up out of the way and we will get started on our next project. Okay, let's go ahead. I gotta pick a few things up. Bring in the next tub. Okay. This one actually uses quite a few different products. I looked through my stash and combined all kinds of things together for this next card. Oh, before we move on, I wanted to show you another alternative for this same layout. For this one, I use the sentiment, you and I make the best team, because you could give this to your coworker, your husband, your spouse, and that is that. Okay, so there we go. Now you've got two ideas, just using different sentiments, and then we're going to move on to our next card. So let's set this one aside. We will again be using the meant to be here. We're going to be using a lot more of the stamps from this one. In addition, I'm going to bring in a face from the Be My Valentine, and You'll Always Be the One for Me. This is where that sentiment came from, but we're going to alter that to say You'll Always Be the Friend for Me. And we're going to get that friend from the Storybook Friends. Of course, you can look through your stash and see where you have the word friend that might fit in there. I happen to find it in the Storybook Friends. And then, let's see. We're also going to be using the elements of text. This, of course, is totally optional. You don't need to do this, but I really liked how it turned out, so we're going to use it. And we're going to be using the Hearts of Elegance. I'm using the second largest, or the middle heart here. I've got it on another piece. Our paper is the Timeless Plaid. So we're going to be using that. And again, we're going to be using that paper pumpkin die. This time we're using the heart because I really like the scalloped heart. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with the stamping. Okay, let me put that heart up there. So actually, let me put it back on the magnetic sheet so I don't lose it. I'm going to start with the text, the elements of text, and I'm going to bring in a piece of basic white cardstock. This one is not going to be big enough. Let me grab my paper sampler here, my paper basic white, and then we're going to use Petunia Pop. I'm going to ink that up. And then I'm going to give that a good press. I tend to find this little spot right up here on the right doesn't necessarily stamp the way I want it on first, but we've done really well with that. So now we're good. Let's go ahead and set that aside. And we're going to cut our heart out of this. Okay, So let's go ahead and do that now. I'm going to take and put this in, and can I get this? Ooh, it's going to be close at 3.5. You know what? I'm just going to use the Big Boss for this. Oops, sorry. I hit the stamp pad and it hit the camera stand. So let's go ahead and back this out. And for this, then we're going to need our die adapter plate 2. So let's put that in. We're going to put this in like so. I'm just going to run that through. Okay. So with this, you get the inside piece and the scallop frame. Let's just poke that out. Right there we go. Okay. So what I want to do now, I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper. And I'm going to color this. I'm going to use my dark petunia pop Stampin' Blend. And I am just going to run that right over the top of my white, my basic white. And color that in. This keeps me from having to cut 2 pieces. And the other thing it does is that my words then are still lined up on the frame and will look much better. Okay, so I've got that all colored. It's an easy way to do your 2-piece frames and add your color without cutting 2. Okay, just a little tip to save you some time. Now let's go ahead and stamp our little bees here. So we're going to stamp 2 bee bodies with crushed curry. That's what we need. 2. Stamp them a little bit apart because I need to add some body parts. So we're done with the crushed curry. Then we're going to move to the Memento Tuxedo Black. And these are all from the Meant to Be stamp set, these little bee body parts. I'm going to use my Memento Tuxedo Black. I'm going to line up the black part of my bee tail right around the edge here and then line up those stripes on the edges. So I want that bee going that way, and then I'm going to turn it around and do it the opposite direction. And because this is a die rather than a punch, my die will cut out both. Okay, so I've got those. While I've got my black out, I'm going to take one of the winky eye faces that comes from the Be My Valentine. Now, if you don't have both sets, of course, you can just use the faces that are included in the one. And then I'm going to put a smiley face on this one. And then I need 2 antennas. So we're going to stamp those. And then we need 2 sets of wings. And I'm going to do those in 2 different colors. So we're going to use a Lost Lagoon. . And then we're going to clean that with our chamois real quick. And I always suggest if you're going from any color to a red, do the other color first and then the red tone last. Okay, because the red tones tend to stain your stamps, and sometimes if you don't get it cleaned off well enough, it will bleed into your color. Okay, so these are all of the body parts that we need, and we have dies for all of these, so we don't have to fussy cut them. So let's bring those dies in, and then let's see if we can get our Hearts of Elegance here. Oh, we can. Okay, good. So we're going to be able to die cut that. All right, so let's go ahead before we bring those other dies in. We're going to use this. I'm going to take this Sentiment, You'll Always Be the One for Me. I'm going to take a little bit of tape. I'm going to cut that off. And this one's too big. I need a thinner one. I need my 1/4 inch here. Oh, Tracy, I'm glad you like that little scripty heart. I love that elements of text. I think it is going to be very versatile and very useful. So I'm just going to take and I'm going to put a little bit of mint tape. You could use regular tape, washi tape, whatever. Just cover that up. Post-it note tape, cover that up. And then we're going to bring in the Lost Lagoon again. Well, we are if I can figure out where I put it, right here in front of my nose. And I'm going to ink that up. Then I'm going to remove the tape. This is the key part. If you don't remove the tape, you have a mess. Throw that right in the trash. And then I'm going to stick this right in here. I've got to make sure that I can still get this in without going too high so that I can't cut it out. Okay, so now I've got You'll Always Be the blank for me. And then I'm going to set that aside and I'm going to take my Hello Friend. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to take the word hello and I'm going to tape that off. This time I'm going to put it this direction. Okay. And then I'm going to just put this on the edge of my ink pad. Ink up the word friend. Pull off my tape. This one doesn't hardly have any ink on it. And then I'm going to set this down and stamp the word friend right next to the word the. And I didn't do a very good job of that. Let's try that again. I got it crooked, you guys. That was bad. Sorry about that. Let me just do that one more time, and if it doesn't work, we'll move on. Let's get this down here, cover up the one. Actually, got a little bit of ink on the edge there. I'm going to take off, ink this up. Okay. I wonder, hang on just one second. I'm going to see if this will fit. Maybe give me a little bit more room. No. You know what? Let's not stress myself. Let's just get a whole piece of paper. And then we can just do whatever, and I don't have to worry about having that heart in the way. Okay, so let's just stamp that down. All right, now let's take that tape, get the word friend, pull off that tape. Come on, get off my finger. You know I have ink everywhere now, right? Because it won't come off. Yeah, be careful not to touch the paper. And then we're going to put this right down here like this. And there we go. Much better. Okay. Woohoo! Now we're going to take this and we're going to put that in here like so. Tape that down so it doesn't move. We'll grab our big boss because this piece of paper won't fit through the mini boss. The die itself will, but because my sheet of cardstock is a half sheet, it won't fit in the machine. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, paper, die, and the top plate 3. And we'll run that through. All right, there we go. Okay. Now we have this piece, and through the magic of television, I have already cut the B parts. So we've got those wings and the bodies. Oop. And antennas. Oh, but on these ones I didn't stamp the face. So let's get that. All right, so we've got those. That's all of those pieces. Let's go ahead and stamp those faces because it'll be faster to do that than try to cut them. Okay, so we've got our winky face. And our smiley face. All right. Okay, and then we've got this. And we have one more treatment on this. And then we can put this whole card together. Okay. So we're going to take a blending brush and the Lost Lagoon ink. I'm just going to put some ink on there. And then I'm just going to go around the outside edge of my heart. I don't want to fill it all in, just the outside edge. Okay, so there is that. And then we will close that up and wipe that off. Okay, now we're ready to assemble our card. So let's start with a silicone sheet. This is how I like to do my bees. I'm going to start with the antennas. Put just a little bit of glue right here at the bottom of the antenna. Come on. Okay, that's enough. Remember, dot, dot, not a lot. And then we're just going to stick our bee down here, like so, and pick that up. I'm going to do the same thing with this bee. that up. And then I'm going to bring in my wings. And we're going to do the same thing. A little bit of glue at the bottom. Dot. And dot. And then we're going to take our bee and put that down kind of like that. And do the same thing with this one. All right. Then I'm going to go ahead and flip those over because we're going to add dimensionals to those. And the dimensionals are also going to ensure that our bees stay together. So I'm going to take some mini glue dots up here and secure those wings and antenna with a mini. And then I can add a large dimensional right in the middle. Okay, so those are now ready to go. Now let's bring in our card base, which again is basic black. 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. This will be a portrait card, however, so we're just going to do that. Now we've got a piece of the Timeless Plaid, and this is in the Lost Lagoon. And this is 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to add this. To my card front here. And then I'm going to place this where I want it. Come on, cooperate. Those two pieces in here. And then I'm going to put this one down here like so. So I need to put this one on first, but I need to know where to set it. So we're just going to put that right there. This is going to go down flat. I'm just going to use some Stampin' Seal. Put that down there again. About where I had it. Like so. And then we're going to add our frame. I'm going to take a little bit of liquid glue on my frame. Just going to run a tiny bead around the outside edge. Okay. And then we're going to add this onto our card. Like so. That in there. Going to press it too hard in case I decide I need to lift it up. I like that though, so I think I'm good. Now we're going to take and add our scripty heart right there. And pull the backings off of our bees. Oh, I needed to put, hang on, I want these antennas to be supported, and I want to show you this. So we're going to take our mini dimensionals, and I'm just going to give that a cut up like so, to cut those in half. And then I'm going to pull half a dimensional. These are the minis, just to give those wings some support so that they are adhered down and are stable so that they don't get pulled off. So I'll just remove those backings. Okay. And then this little guy is going to go on here, like so. Put him up here a little bit higher. Need to make sure that his wings stay on the back, or don't go past the fold of the card. And then we need to get those other half dimensionals here and here, and lift those backings. And this card is almost finished. So we're just going to put this bee right here, like so. So they're talking to each other. And then we're going to grab our sequins. These are the Berry Burst Bubble Bath Fresh Freesia and White. They're called purple sequins. These are a celebration free choice with a $60 purchase. And where did I set? There it is. I'm going to use the white ones for this. I'm going to pull a small one. I'm going to put it up here. Then I'm going to pull a larger one and put over here. And another large one, and I'm going to set it down there. Okay. Then again, I'm going to take the tip of my Take Your Pick tool and give those a good press so that that glue dot on those sequins adheres itself well. And now we're ready to put the inside of our card in. And so, oh, did I not do that? Apparently I didn't make that up ahead of time. Oh no, because I wanted to show you how to do what I did. Okay, so we're going to take a piece of basic white. I like to cut my inside pieces at 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. I can get 5 out of a sheet of cardstock and still have a couple of pieces left, small pieces. One for a sentiment and one for something small to stamp. And we're going to take this, and I'm using, actually, I'm going to do this one a little bit different because I'm going to show you a little trick here. Where did I put my die cuts? Where did I put that little, come on, Teresa, where did you put those? Oh, they're covered right here. I'm going to take this little piece that we had left, and I'm going to set this in here, like so. And I'm going to grab a small blending brush, a detailed blending brush that I have. And I am going to grab the, wait a minute, let me look and see. Oh, I'm going to go with the Petunia Pop. I'm just going to get a little bit of ink on my brush. I'm going to hold this down. I'm just going to put a little bit of ink inside there. And then I'm going to move this. And I'm going to do that same thing again. I don't want this to be real dark because I'm going to stamp over the top of it. Okay, so I've got that. And that's just using that die then as a stencil. Let me wipe that up so I don't have Petunia Pop everywhere. And then we're going to bring in our Happy Valentine's Day. which we could actually not do Happy Valentine's Day. Let's not. Let's put You Make Me Smile. How about that? Let's pull from the Hugs for Love stamp set. Let's pull the sentiment that says, You Make Me Smile. Now, of course, you could use any sentiment you want, and if you don't have the Hugs for Love, by all means, use a sentiment from the stamp set that you already have. I'm just going to set this on here and add this to a block. Then I'm going to take my Lost Lagoon and then we'll stamp this right down here, like so. And then we're going to add the strip of paper that was left when I cut off the, cut this down to 5 1/4. I'm going to use that 3/4 inch strip. I'm going to run some Stampin' Seal along the bottom. I'm actually going to flip this over so that we see both sides of the paper. And we're going to put that down. Smooth down that cut edge there. Got just a tiny bit of white, and so I'm going to use my blending brush and cover that up. Just a little trick. Okay. And so now we have the inside of our card. Let's go ahead. Make sure I don't get Lost Lagoon everywhere. And we'll add this to our card. And this card will be finished as well. Okay. And for the envelope for this one, I've just stamped a coordinating B on the front. All right, everybody, I hope you liked those. Here is the original card. These are both the same, but on the inside, I did Happy Valentine's Day, and this stamp, this is a stamp that came from the Be My Valentine set. Okay? All right, so I hope you liked those projects today. Let's go ahead and bring back in the other card we made, which I buried, of course, you know, because that's what we do, we bury them. All right, I hope everybody likes those. Join me on Thursday night on YouTube Live. I'll give you a little sneak peek. Well, hello, Mary Isley. Oh, Tracy, thank you. All right, so if you join me Thursday night for YouTube Live, we'll be making this little kitchen table stamper box using the Meant to Be stamp set again. All right, I hope everybody has a great couple of days, and I will see you soon. Thanks, everybody, for watching. If you liked what you saw, be sure to follow me, like, and share. Thanks so much. Good night.